married is not an achievement. The girl.
And so is being a single mother. So is having a bunch of kids for men that don't want y'all. Having multiple baby fathers. So is having one broken home after the next. Those are not achievements either, but y'all are okay with that. Let's unpack that. Are we telling the girlies to close their legs? Are we telling the girlies to close their throats? Are we telling the girlies to make better choices? Are we telling the girlies to really pour into themselves? Are we telling the girlies any of this? Are we telling the girlies, okay, if marriage is not an achievement, so is having like 5-6 sexual partners in 1 year also is not an achievement? It's not a sport? Are we telling the girlies that? Listen, I don't understand what is going on in the black community, but in the words of Chris Brown, how are you hating from outside the club? You can't even get in. Y'all always got something, to say about marriage. Something that downplays or disparages it.
A man asking me to marry him would be the largest insult to my life. I would be highly insulted if a man asked me to marry him.
Ladies, if a man gives you a ring and proposes marriage to you, it's because he's done playing the field, he's done trying to get all the ladies, he's maybe balding a little bit, he can't get the ladies anymore, so now he has to settle down. And settling down means finding somebody who's available that likes him enough to put up with his shit, and then he makes you feel special with a ring.
Child, I done heard it's a trend going around where everybody talking about why they wouldn't want to live with no man, that don't want no man up and through their house. And I know the trend is for the little bitties, but hell, my age group of ladies is out there looking for some loving too. They want a man. And this why I don't want one in my house. First of all, let's start here. Look at my friend. Y'all can't see my friend good. Let me show you my friend. First of all, I'm 55, single. That's my bed. You see that bed right there? I like that by myself. That's a California king. California. You see how tall I'm is in front? That bed come all the way up to the doggone high parts of the hind parts. I like that. Oh, I like all this space. This just my room. This just my room. I don't want no man up and through here. You know why? Let me show you why. This is what'll get a man throwed up out my house real fast. Y'all want to see what to do it? I'll show you what to do it. Well, don't she up in the closet? This'll do it right here. Look, you see my sock right here? When man's live in your house, you see this right here? What it say right here? It say laundry. You know what a man will do? You see this basket? A man will do this. Not this. 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 One more time. Laundry. This. That. Gosh. This. Bam. There you go. I did it. Because that's what they do.
You signed up to be your husband's domestic servant. I see a lot of ladies on this app who are talking about how they don't want to live with a man because when they live with the man, all the things they had to do. And that's where wives mess up. When you started living with him, you made it all about him, what he needs, what he wants, what's going to make him happy, what you can do for him. Then you started to feel overwhelmed, overworked, mad, tired, and like it was too much. Now you want to turn the whole thing around on him. When, honey, you got exactly what you signed up for. I signed up for it too. That's because we allowed society to make us believe that we had to jump through hoops and aprons to make a man happy. When the gag is, the only person that we ever had to make happy was ourselves. Unless you were forced into servitude, you chose it. And those of us who are still living with a man can choose to stop. I'll tell you from experience, when I stopped trying to be my husband's mother and turned my focus back to myself, he tore up those servitude papers faster than I did. You chose to be your husband's domestic servant. Now stop!
Let's be honest. A lot of us Jesus girls are raised to center men. I, for example, in my own upbringing, when I was at home and the sun rose before I rose, my mom would throw a fit as to what kind of wife are you going to be if you don't rise before the sun. I was raised knowing that my mom is preparing me for a union. And so when I grew up and went into the world, all I was doing was finding the very thing that was drilled in my head, that my purpose was to be somebody else's wife. And that led to me idolizing marriage, relationships, love, and men, and therefore lived a life of centering man for as long as I could remember. And let's go deeper with the honesty. So far, it hasn't worked for me. making a man my world, having my day, my choices, my thoughts revolve around him, how he's doing, what he needs, compromising my own self, being a living sacrifice for the joy of this man has not worked for me. And so I'm at a point where I'm joining the chorus of the world to say, let us decenter men.
But single women, right, especially those of you who are just getting out in the world and you don't know what your purpose is in the world, and you're hearing from commercials, you're hearing from the university, you're hearing from everybody else that your purpose in the world is to be like a man and make sure you get all the money you can possibly get the condos, get the houses, get the cars. Then they tell you to focus also on your path, your mission. So you imagine in your head that you want 3 children, you want to live in the suburbs, is what you want, is your mission. So you head off for what you want, right? And then you go along and you meet a man. And you think, now I met the man, oh wonderful, I'm going to try to convince him to marry me. And that's when it starts hitting you, that realize that, oh, I'm not in control of that part of it. You know, I can't really convince him to do anything because he's Adam. And I have to humble myself if I want to get into his kingdom because he's actually the head over me. He is the boss man. Now, if you want to put this into the analogy of getting a top job career, and the career is called wife, mother, lover. That's the new career for women. Helpmate. The one who cooks and cleans, the one who helps with supporting the business if he has one, the one who helps with supporting him emotionally if he needs some encouragement, like a cheerleader. You can do it, you can do it. The one who helps raise the children and teaches them to fear Yah. The one who's actually going to be there in old age to comfort and to support the grandchildren and the generations to come. That is the role of a woman. And when you are trying to get into the house of a man, you need to know the application, what you're applying for, what your role is. Especially if you were not raised with a father to teach you that before, you're learning that. I'm trying to teach it to you because I'm an elder and I've gone through it. So I understand the role of a wife, right? You got to serve food, you got to be loving, you got to be hospitable to guests when they show up. You should be bearing spiritual fruits of love and kindness, not jealous in any way, not jealous, not covetous, not greedy, not selfish, very patient. Yeah, it's a big role, I know, and the world is telling you, girl, you're doing all that for a man? It should be all about you. You make yourself look pretty for a man? And then you go and you put all your little tattoos and the little nose rings. You can tell the feminists from a while. First sign of feminist, I know, is the nose rings and the blue hair. But all that aside, my sisters, you got to know your prime directive, right? So you're applying for the job as wife because you were a helper. Now you realize when you knock on the door that he ain't really buying it. The reason why he might be not buying it is because you're not naturally fitting this role yet. You have not, it hasn't grasped you yet. You've been thinking like the world. You have not gotten the concept of submission. You haven't gotten the concept of being a woman, being a humbling position. You're fighting him on every little thing. You're arguing about every petty little thing because you cannot see yourself as being a subordinate to the man in any way because feminism has indoctrinated you. So now you're trying to get the job and you have not been able to get the title wife from a man or anything of any honorable position in his household, which there are more than just wife. It could be lover, it could be whatever he calls. As long as you have a husband over you, that's the whole point, right? So some of you are struggling to get that position because you have not been able to grasp the concept of what you are as a woman. You think you're a man, and no man wants to hire another man to be his wife. I know! They're not that, you know. No. Especially the men that you're trying to get, Yah-fearing men, are going to be patriarchal. They're going to be leaders, strong leaders. They're going to want what they want. They're going to be on mission and have their mission. And all of a sudden, you got to drop everything to serve him because you are a helpmate. You got to leave your country, leave your house, leave your family, and serve him. You got to leave your career path if he chooses for that to happen. You're studying to be a dentist, or maybe you're studying to do nursing, and he doesn't want you to do that anymore. And he's going to ask you, in order to serve me as my helpmate, I need you to change your path. And the world is going to say, girl, that man is so controlling. I can't believe he would ask that of you. How dare you? I mean, after all, you spent 4 years, 7 years of your life building your career, girl. You deserve better. How can you surrender yourself and give it all up for a man? And we wonder why so many women are single these days. Because instinctively, men know that they're the head, that they are the leader, that you follow them, my sisters. You are the follow sheep, and he is the shepherd, right? Think of it this way. I am the boss, right? Let's just pretend. I'm the boss. And I actually am, in real life, I am a boss, right, of my own little business here. And I decide to hire an assistant called you. You come straight off the street, right? And you're a little bit rough because you don't know what my business is. You don't know how it works yet because you haven't got training in that field. But you kind of look okay, look decent enough. I'm going to take you in and give you a try as a helper for my business. And as the years go by, you learn the trades, you see me, you kind of figure out how to do it, and you're getting better and better at it. To the point where now you think, you're surpassing me. Great. Next step is that now you're starting to get a little bit competitive with me, and you want to correct me on every move I make. Tell me how to run my business, when to open up, how much to charge my clients, how to talk to my clients. Now you are becoming combative because you're becoming a little bit arrogant. This is what women do a lot of times in their marriages, forgetting that I hired you to come into my company and that everything you see in here is mine. Now you think because you spent 10, 15 years of your life working for me, that all of a sudden that qualifies you to be my boss. Yeah? And you think that you're either on equal level as me, which you cannot be. There's only one CEO of this company, and that's me. But you think that you're on equal level of me. And then you start fighting with me for superiority. And that's usually when the divorces start happening, because women stop having sex with their husbands, they get mad at them, they can't see anything good, they think they're superior to them in all ways, intellectually superior, emotionally more superior. I can communicate better, because we have more words. Yeah, and we think that we are the bomb, and Adam is like nothing, and I don't want to serve this man because he is inferior to me. And you start degrading a man, and now the thought of serving a man and helping him, no. All of a sudden, the children are your children, especially when they're good, they're your children, and they're bad, they're his children. But anyways, you decide that you're going to divorce me. You're going to kick me out of my own company. You know that's not going to happen, right? But this is what women think that they can do when they say they have a no-fault reason to leave a husband and divorce him, because they think as women they have a right to kick the shepherd out of his own field. It's like you trying to fire me and I own the company. You are just an employee. You forgot your purpose. You forgot the purpose of why you were hired in the first place. And as sisters, I want to remind you, do not forget the prime directive of women, why you were made by Yah in the first place. That has not changed. It has never changed, and it will never change. You are a woman. You are a helper, a helpmate for a man. Now, if you're not married, submit yourself to your father, to your head, and be helpful to him in some way. Find a way to help a man. I know. I said it. Darn it. And you can't hit me over the internet. Boy, if I could get shots. I know I would, but please hold cool. Find a man to help, my sisters. Find a reason to serve, because that's why you were made for. And you were made in the perfect position to do so. It's because of the corruption of the world, of the enemy, that you think right now that you are superior to a man. You think that somehow God has forgotten what he made you for. But he has not forgotten it. Your purpose is still the same. You're equipped to do it. You got all the resources. But you got to unlearn the garbage from the world. Take out the indoctrination. Turn off the Tik-tok if you must. Turn off the YouTube. Focus on reading and praying to the Most High, asking Him, Father, where is it that I need to serve? Who should I submit myself under and to serve? Especially if you're single and that man is not very obvious, ask the Lord who it is. Now, if you have children, it's also pertaining to serving the children. And even if you are a single mother, you're actually raising the legacy of a man. And even if it's a man that you hate, I know, because you're going to tell me that the baby daddy was, he was bad. He was abusive. He was narcissistic. He was selfish. You're going to tell me all this, great. But it's his seed, not your seed. You're just a field. It's his tree that you bore on your field, my sisters. You are raising another man's legacy because you are the helpmate. This is the reason why you're created. And now you're raising another man's kingdom called his children. Do a good job. Love them, but they're not your children. Not in that way. They belong to the man. That's another topic. We will talk about it soon. Hopefully when Brother Michael comes back. He's a little bit off right now, but he's I work alongside with him right now. We'll talk about children belonging to their fathers, biblically speaking. But all your children belong to your fathers. It's about the father's headship, the father's house, the father's name. Yeah, he is the master of his household. And every woman, be it daughter, mother-in-law, sister, anybody who's living underneath his cover has to submit to him. If you are a woman and should be following the reason for his mission, and if you don't know the reason for his mission, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find, because he will give you some direction. And if you want to please the Lord, that is the way to do it. That is the way to do it, is to fall in line in the kingdom, and don't try to make your own positions in the kingdom. You were born to serve. You were born to be a helpmate, a helper to a man, to a father, to a husband, to whoever is head over you, in whatever capacity the Lord has led you to do. Even if you grow old and you can't have any children, you can still serve. And this is how we serve in the kingdom, by the way. Y'all never sent anybody out by themselves as lone rangers. Everybody had disciples or had another partner. We women want to be independent of everything, but we need to partner up. And if you want to multiply, you cannot multiply on your own. You need a man. And even if it's not physically having children, you want to multiply spiritually, you still need to partner up. You still need to partner up. You still need to co-work with somebody to multiply in the kingdom and to serve the Most High. And ultimately, we're all worshiping the Lord. We're all worshiping the Most High when we fall in the order of things, when we submit ourselves. And thank Him. Even the birds thank Him for making them birds. Even the fishes thank Him for making them fishes. We all have to be grateful for who the Most High created us to be. It's not a shame that I am made a woman. It's a servant position, but it's a humbling position, and it's an honorable position to serve. Yeshua died on the cross. He served us. The King served us in the most ultimate way. We can't even do that. We can't even compare to that level of humility and dying and serving us. And now we're fighting, serving our head, which is our man, which is the men in our lives. Oh, my sisters, get the revelations. Do not decenter men. It doesn't work, right? Thanks for listening to Call for Wisdom. Check you out later. Blessings, my sisters.